Bonjour. So I wanted to give you guys a short explainer on what it is that you're going to be working on in this section of your Google form for today. So what I like to do at different points throughout the school year is have my students practice listening in French. So what this is based on the exam that you are going to be taking in June. And in that exam, there is a very long listening section where you're listening to me speak in French and it'll be in passages. At first listen, it's going to sound very overwhelming. I want you to understand, however, that you are not meant to understand everything in that passage. You're not going to understand everything in that passage, and it is okay. The questions that you have to answer will not require you to understand everything that you hear. The point is for you to listen out for key vocabulary words, expressions, and phrases that we have worked on throughout the year. For this point of things, you're mainly going to be focusing on the vocabulary words that are familiar to you. You're going to pick out what you understand, what sounds familiar to you based on what we've studied and what we've been working on, and you're going to use that to help inform your responses. Okay, so this is just to help get you used to hearing what these words sound like in the context of a normal conversation, a situation in which these words might appear. You're also going to notice that sometimes the words that are understandable to you aren't going to be exactly in the same context of what we've been using them for. So we've been focusing on sports and leisure activities. You're sometimes going to hear these words being used in an outside of school situation. It's going to be like you hear an advertisement, there's something on the radio, there's something that comes up in a pop up in a video. You overhear people speaking. And these are the kinds of things that you're going to get. And it's okay as well, because again, it's never going to be dependent on that made up situation. It's always going to be dependent on what we do in class. So don't stress out that you don't understand everything that's happening in that passage. You're not supposed to. Okay. You are trying to learn how to listen out for French words you know and pay attention to those. And also use some logic in trying to figure out appropriate responses. You're going to be surprised at how much you do basically understand. You guys are very strong and you already know a lot. So you are going to understand the basic idea of what you hear me saying out loud in French. You just might not get the details, but you don't need the details right now. That's next year. Okay? So don't freak out when you don't understand everything. You're not supposed to. So don't play it a million times trying to understand every single little thing that's being said. You don't need to. I'm looking at you, Tyler. Okay? Don't try to understand everything. You're not supposed to. Okay. So now that you've watched this video, and hopefully before you try to email me with questions or pop into the Google Meets with questions, you'll try out a couple of the videos first. If after you've watched this entire video and you've tried out responding to the questions on your own after you watch the video a few times, the little videos a few times, you can get a hold of me. But remember, the idea is you are not supposed to understand everything I say. Okay? All right. Good luck. See you soon.